Good up.
This is channel 253. Beep, boop, boop, boop.
On this episode of the Grit and Grain podcast.
At our peak, we're at 380 or so H-2A, temporary visa workers, about 120 domestic workers. And it's like, same thing, like apples get picked by hand, cherries get picked by hand, asparagus gets picked by hand. Like, we don't have these like big mechanized like crops in the Yakima Valley, and it's like, it's on the backs of the farm workers that agriculture economy in Central Washington is built.
Did you know Channel 253 is member supported? I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I hope you will show your support by going to channel253.com/membership and join. Thank you.
Welcome to the Grit and Grain podcast, where we explore and celebrate the craft beer industry, community, and history in Tacoma, Washington, and surrounding Pacific Northwest areas. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's get to it.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Grit and Grain podcast, coming to you guys from Peaks and Pints in Tacoma, Washington. My name is Matt McLaren. I'm here, as always, with Ron Swerner.
Well, hello.
How's it going, Ron?
Good. I'm kind of moist today.
Why?
Moist. Because I tapped the Tilquin Lambic this morning, went right in my face.
Oh, yeah?
As I was putting on, sweating through all taps for the anniversary party today. Yeah. It's still sticky.
Does your beard taste great?
It smells great.
Does it?
Mm-hmm. It smells like Belgium.
Ron, have you ever used a hot comb on your beard?
Nope.
No? Okay. Don't. It smells like mashing in.
Oh, does it?
It's a strong no.
Also, Bethany, hi.
I don't have any beer on my face.
Okay, good.
Or a beard.
Yeah, or a beard.
How's your day going?
Great.
How was your Halloween?
It was good. It was fun.
Good. Samesies. I know we were gushing about how fun Halloween is in the Proctor area every year when like 3,000 kids come around and grab candy from all the businesses. And that's what you were doing yesterday?
Yes. It was insane, but fun. It's good to have him back. After
COVID. Yeah. Thanks as always for hanging out. As always, if you're free on Wednesday afternoons, come to the Peaks and Pints and hang out in the side room and watch in person and have a beer and be our favorite laugh track and talk to all of our guests in person, which is always fun. Speaking of which, who are we talking to today, Ron?
Well, England has its royal family. But I'd like to introduce to you the crown prince of the Washington State beer royal family, Kevin Quinn of Bale Breaker Brewing, straight out of jolly old Moxie, Washington.
Whoa!
Sound the trumpets.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here.
Thanks for coming through, man.
Yeah.
I suppose you were already here for Ron's thing. What's going on today, Ron?
7th anniversary.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo!
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Why is Kevin here for that?
Because Bale Breaker and Kevin, because I toured the ranch with Kevin and the facility with Kevin. But Bale Breaker has brewed our house beer for 2023 to 2024 called the Trailbreaker, Bale Breaker Trailbreaker IPA. And it's like all the previous ones, it's citrusy and piney and old school and orange, and it's lovely.
Awesome.
Because I tapped it earlier this week when it came. And I know it tastes great.
Cheater.
I haven't even tried it. We've actually brewed it at our spot in Ballard, so I have not tried it yet.
Man, I'm excited to try it.
Ron, you're tapping it right at 5 today?
At 6. The party starts at 6.
6?
Yeah.
Well,
Guess we're hanging until
everyone
6.
who listens to this can go get it now. Right?
Or, 2 days ago.
Speaking of which, what are you drinking right now, Ron?
I am drinking the Bale Breaker High Camp IPA. It's a winter IPA.
Yeah.
Very lovely. And Holy Mountain's Carriage of the Spirits Italian Pilsner. And it's very hoppy.
It's I'm for sure grabbing that on the break.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
You're drinking the same thing, Bethany?
Yep, I have the same thing, but I think I got it first. So Ron copied me.
Suck it, Ron.
It's true.
Okay. I have the Tilquin that was all over Ron's face. Squeezed it right from his beard.
Yeah.
Kevin, what are you drinking?
I am also drinking the High Camp. We just packaged it a few days ago, so it's very fresh. It's tasting very good. We've done this beer all 10 years we've been around. We poured up at White Pass Ski Resort, just west of Yakima there, our home ski resort. We have an upper mountain lodge called High Camp, so one of our taproom folks was the manager of High Camp our first winter, so we named it High Camp, and they poured at High Camp.
And it is tasting fresh. It is awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's so dark.
Yes, we do use a little chocolate malt in there to darken it up. There's some rye in there as well.
Sure.
But it drinks lighter. Like it doesn't drink dark.
No.
Yeah.
It's like 20 pounds in 3,000 or something. So very small amount. Gives it that kind of amberish hue.
I love that like coppery color, and it is like a very wintry. It's very winter looking beer.
Yeah, it was inspired by Sierra Nevada Celebration, all of our favorite winter beer back in the day. So.
Still holds up.
Yeah.
It's all of our favorites.
Yes, totally.
I'm not sure we go an episode without talking about Celebration, honestly.
Yeah, so for a few years, Field 41 was, for more than a few years, it was Cascade hops. But before we put the years leading up to, before we put the brewery in Field 41, they had selected those Cascades to use in Celebration. So
Oh, I didn't know that. That's so cool.
there you go.
That's I like that. It's like a little hidden claim to fame.
Kevin, I'm curious. The Smith family went to UW instead of the Aggie Wazoo. Why is that?
Well, my father-in-law went to Washington State.
Okay.
So back in the day, in the 70s, he was saying that winter semester didn't start till like after harvest was done. So it didn't start like until October or something, and then didn't finish until after Christmas or something. And so, but my mother-in-law went to UW, and then both my parents went to UW.
Okay.
And so I met my wife Meghann at UW, and then both her brothers went there. So yes, we have one cougar and all the rest huskies. So, but yeah.
And you study business and
Yes, finance. Both Meghann and I did finance through the business school at UW, and then I also got a GIS, Geographic Information Systems degree.
Nice.
I did restaurant development. Well, first finance, then restaurant development before we decided to open the brewery. So I had absolutely zero experience on brewing in the brewing industry, I guess, before we opened it. But we figured it out.
That you did. It's crazy to come in cold like that and then come out swinging as hard as you guys did. What was your crash course like when you first jumped into this?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was probably making it sound like we knew a little bit less than we did. But, the farm was started in 1932. As craft started gaining momentum, a higher and higher percentage of the hops from Loftus Ranches were going into the craft brewing industry. So, starting in the early 2000s, you'd see more and more craft brewers like actually showing up at the farms, like coming out for selection.
Yeah.
It was typically the big guys. I believe my father-in-law Mike met Ken Grossman for the first time in 1980.
Wow.
And then, but by the early 2000s, it was Ninkasi and Russian River and Odell and Founders and Bells and New Glarus and Stone and the Shoots, and it's like there was kind of a joke they used to say that all roads in the Yakima Valley lead to the back porch at the ranch, because it was like if you went back there during harvest when they were back for selection, there always seemed to be some brewer there.
Oh, sure.
And so the farm was part of the Brewers Association, and when we started kicking around the idea, in the late 2000s, my father-in-law was like, well, you guys should learn more about this. And so we started going to CBCs back then, and so we probably went to I don't know, 3 of them or something like that.
Prior to starting.
Nice.
Super smart.
My wife Meghann and I took a 2-week class at Siebel. We also took classes at UC Davis, all kind of before we decided to do it. And then we just got to pick people's brains. It was like the brewers were there every harvest, and the owners of these breweries were there. And so, we told them that, what we were thinking. And so, I mean, our learning curve was really, was fast, mostly because of all the help from all the other, it was like we had something wrong. We could,
call Ken Grossman. He'll help.
Yeah. Call Vinny.
Yeah. Call Vinny. Put more hops in it.
Call John Mallett. It was, I mean, when we decided that we were going to do cans, Sierra Nevada was like, oh, don't tell anyone, but we're trialing cans right now, and you should use ball cans because we've done all the research on it. And that's the ones that we would use. And like,
wow,
nice.
You should own your own cooperage, and we buy Frankie, so you should do that too. So there's a lot of that. Like when we were looking at malt suppliers, we sent it out to a couple of big breweries because we didn't really know what the hell we were looking at.
Sure.
And they were like, yeah.
These guys who already made these very expensive mistakes were like, hey, don't do this, do this.
Yeah, we, like 40% of ours is this supplier, so you're all good. Like, they're great stuff, so.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and we just weren't afraid to work hard. I mean, it was a lot of like 80, 100-hour weeks and like figuring it out. I mean, I think it took us 2 weeks to figure out how to freaking hook up the first keg line that we had.
Jeez.
And it was a Squire plus 2. It was 2 heads. Like, I mean, it wasn't complicated. But it's like
Bethany's like, you should have called me.
they didn't label any of this.
Yeah.
So, but Kevin, your brother-in-law, was at two beers. He had
2
some
beers,
commercial brewing experience.
Yes,
so
he did.
Helped a little.
Yeah,
I guess.
definitely
Knew how
did.
to clean a tank and a heat exchanger and stuff.
Yep. Yeah. We got all that figured out. We also, John Mallett from Bell's was doing part of the class that Meghann and I took in Siebel, and he had said that, I used to do a bunch of consulting. I would help these breweries when they were, doing expansion projects and other stuff. And so we send an email to Megan's older brother Pat and her dad Mike, and we're like, do you know this John Mallett guy from Bell's? And they're like, oh yeah, he comes to the farm. I'm like, yeah, we know him. Well, you should email him and see if he'll help us. Because we were knocking down 5 acres of hops and building the brewery, and we didn't really know anything.
Jeez, man.
And so he actually put us in touch with a friend of his, Rich Tucciaroni. Everyone knows him as Tooch. And he'd been in the industry for like 20 years, and he had just left Kona Brewing in Kona after AB bought the rest of the Craft Brewers Alliance. So he was in between jobs. So he really helped us out a lot. Helped us. I mean, we had other brewers that they're like, oh, like send us your tape designs, like send us your brew house, like.
I love this industry.
We'll look
There's
at
the
it.
industry.
Yeah.
Or,
I love this
you.
industry.
And so we had Tooch with tons of experience, and he was out there when we did our first brews and stuff, and so he was making sure we knew all the safety stuff and made sure we knew how to, we were just starting off on the right foot.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Gosh, man, that's so cool.
And you had a hop farm behind you too.
Yeah, that helps.
Which helps.
Yeah.
Is Bale Breaker still the only brewery on a hop farm?
Yeah, we're still the only commercial hop brewery on a commercial hop farm that we know of.
That is so cool.
Well,
That is
I mean,
really cool.
in the U.S., I met a guy in Germany a number of years back that lives in Slovenia, I think, and his family has a hop farm, and he has a brewery, Green Gold, I think is what it was called. Mm-hmm. Kind of a crazy guy, but
and he's German. You don't say.
Slovenia. We'll save those stories for off the podcast.
Fair enough. Doug, leave those mics on. I loved the fact that you guys are. I didn't know that you were still the only brewery operating on a hop farm, but I always loved how, like, your guys' beer concepts, even just your branding, like, connected the consumers to like a raw ingredient that really was like behind the curtain for so long, like Top Cutter and Field 41. It's like these direct references to things that only exist really on like the farmer side of this industry. And so people kind of had this window now and everybody's sort of learning more about it. And it was like, to me, it was like one of the really big pushes for consumers to connect more with the raw ingredients that went into the product. And I always really loved that.
Yeah. Too bad there's not more like farm implements and stuff, because after Top Cutter, Field 41, and Bottom Cutter, we kind of ran out of ideas.
I mean, there's only 3 things. So.
Well, homegrown.
Yeah. Homegrown, yeah.
Because you started making or
Growing
harvesting
barley.
your own barley.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Tell us what else you're growing on the farm.
Something that a lot of people seem to like, our newer farm down in Granger. It's not quite as old as it's younger than the brewery, but pretty close. I think it's like 7 seasons in or something. It was a vegetable farm that we purchased, and the family that we got it from, they knew that we grow hops and had a brewery, and they're like, obviously you're going to turn this into a hop farm, but we grow Hungarian wax peppers for Mama Lil's peppers, and he's like, you do not want to get rid of this contract. He's like, you will not find a higher revenue per acre agricultural crop than Hungarian wax peppers. And so we supply over 1 million pounds a year of Hungarian wax peppers to Mama Lil's. It's
Wow.
like 60. I don't know. It's over half of all of their peppers come off of our hop farm. Yeah.
I'm such a big percentage of that fucking chunk because I go through a jar and a half of those fucking things a week.
Yeah.
So yeah, 30 acres produces about 1.5 million pounds of Hungarian wax peppers.
Crap.
Cool.
Good thing you guys didn't get rid of that contract.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, do you want more? And then we also do apples and pears. Not as big anymore in that. At one point that was, I think, like 800-ish acres. I think now it's more like 350, 400 acres. So it was down on the orchard where we were growing the barley for homegrown. We needed some like cover crops and stuff, and so, but why don't we just use a really expensive one? So.
That makes sense.
Right before you opened, you were the ranch was exporting 60% and then selling 40% to the major breweries in the area, in the nation. How has that changed?
Yeah.
What are the percentages today?
Yeah, I don't know what the exact ones were when we opened. 100% of our hops go to Yakima Chief hops.
Okay.
And then so breweries will have contracts through Yakima Chief. I think it's now probably, I mean, if you're not including like craft breweries that are now owned by bigger breweries, the only major international or brewery that we supply hops to is Heineken.
Okay.
But that's through Yakima Chief. So I would say probably, this is a guess, 80, 90% at least are craft. But the Yakima Valley itself, it's 75% of the U.S. hops, somewhere in the neighborhood of 30% of the world's hops, but it's something like 60 or 70% of those hops grown in the Yakima Valley are exported outside of the U.S. It's a big number.
Yeah.
It's crazy because we have so many breweries here.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the largest brewery in the world is in China, though.
That's true.
So like, yeah, we don't have a ton of people.
That's true.
Yeah. Was the valley back in the day? It was mostly alpha, and today is it mostly aroma?
Yes.
Wow.
That switch came about during the during the rise of craft brewing. But yes, the state of Washington, the Yakima Valley, was kind of the world's alpha producer, kind of starting after World War II. That's really when you saw the big growth in Washington, and when Washington finally took over Oregon as the number one producer. That was like after World War II. And then we didn't take over as the world's largest producer until I believe it was sometime in the 2010s. Overtook Germany. Germany, though, is got a tough road ahead of them. Only 15% or so of their land is irrigated, and as summers are getting hotter and they're getting less rain, it hasn't been good years lately in the German growing region. So we'll see what happens there.
Yikes.
That's
horrifying.
Yeah. We only get 80 inches of precipitation in Yakima a year, but we're fully irrigated. So
Yeah. Jeez.
and pretty much all that rain comes between like November and March. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's like, but we've talked to a few, like the climate issue for like hop production and like raw ingredient production over the next few years just seems to be like getting more and more bleak, and it's a bummer. And I am like always curious what sort of solutions will come out of that. Next time we have Kirby back, I'm going to press him on that. Can you explain the partnership between your guys' hop farm and Yakima Chief? I feel like people don't totally know like what that actually is. Like,
so Yakima Chief Hops is essentially like a grower-owned co-op.
yep.
There's I don't know, 10, 12, 14, something like that, grower owners. And then the grower network is like, I don't know, somewhere around 35 or 40 farms. And so that's where all our hops go. All of them are contracted through there. So,
And they basically distribute.
yeah. So the raw hops, the bales of hops leave Loftus Ranches and they're delivered to Yakima Chief. The breweries, even us as Bale Breaker, our contract is with Yakima Chief. It's not with Loftus Ranches.
Yep.
And we just happen to select all of our hops off of our farm, which is nice.
That makes sense.
We also don't go through like a standard selection like a brewery would do. We take samples off the baling room floor from both farms every day, and then every couple days we smell the hops, whether we're selecting that variety or we're not selecting that variety. So we will smell every lot of hops that comes off of both farms.
Is it blind? So you're
Yeah.
yeah. So you're picking what you like. Not.
Yep. So we get it from the farm, knowing a date and lot number, but then when we put it into sensory, it's double blind.
So are you guys picking 100% off of sensory for aroma? That's awesome.
Yep.
Man, I did not know that.
Yeah,
Yep.
you have a whole
So-
sensory. I heard. Is Jackie still your manager for that?
Jackie
for the
is
sensory?
unfortunately not with us.
Okay.
She had a baby last year and then decided to stay home and be a full-time mom and find a different work-life balance. So, but she still comes over a lot.
You still do the sensory thing, though. I think that's
She
so
did a
cool.
great job of setting it all up. And yeah, we have there's another of the family businesses is called Loftus Labs. It's like a agri data company, and so they actually like built us an app. So we have our own like little app that we put all of our sensory notes in, and then they can take that and put it into Tableau and stuff, and
That's awesome.
we can look at it.
I want to see those notes.
So you're rubbing the hops, smelling them, and then you're marking peach, pineapple, onion.
Yeah, and
Cool.
then like a scale of intensity, and then like kind of like hedonic, like how much do we like it, and then, but kind of at the end when it gets down, so we might pick Citra for 6-7 days, so we have to do multiple rubs of Citra, and so whatever lot wins blind. We don't usually smell every day. It's like every 2 or 3 days once we get enough. That will go back in to the next rub blind, and then whatever wins that one will go in. And sometimes we'll be like, these two are like, we really like both these, so then we might move like 2 lots into the next one, and then finally we get down to the chance where we need to do it, and then we'll pick it, and then we'll look back at it, and then we got to make sure that lot has enough pounds in it to be like a single lot, which on some of our bigger ones it doesn't, and so then we'll blend lots, and And the joke is that Yakima Chief now they joke around that they have the Bale Breaker select lots, because there's some breweries that are like, we'll take what if they get too big of a lot, like we'll take the simple,
The leftovers, whatever they pick. I'll have what they're having.
And so our buddies Pint House in Austin, Texas, just happened to show up at the tap room when we picked Citra, and we had to blend 2 lots together, so we couldn't use it all. So then they're like reaching out to their Yakima salesperson, and they're like, get those. And then like the head sales guy's like, no, I already earmarked those. Like, those are mine. And then so we actually took them back into our barrel room where we do all the rubs. And so we pulled them out all the lots around the date that we picked. And so they actually rubbed our gallon bag samples, and then they're like, we'll take that one. So they made their selection from our barrel room because they were heading to the airport.
I'm going to explain rubs to people because I feel like it's probably an industry term that not everybody understands. When you're doing like hop assessment, generally you're grabbing a big handful and you're rubbing them in your hands to get break up all the leaves, get all the oils and stuff out, and then that's how you're like sticking your face into your hands with all of the hop debris on them. When you say we're going to do a rub on these, that's what you're saying is like rub them together and then
break up the lupulin glands so that you can release the aromatics of it.
Yep.
You can also too, like when you're kind of rubbing it, you can kind of smell what's volatilizing off there, which will also happen in like the pelletizing process as it goes through the hammer mill and stuff. So like some stuff that might volatilize off like right away, it's like it may be something that you don't want, but you can also kind of like figure out like that's probably going to volatilize off. Like we don't need to worry about that.
It's garlic bread. Let's use this one.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, it's already time for a break, which seems heinous to me. But stick around. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out during the break. As always, a quick shout out to Doug, our wonderful producer.
Cheers, listeners.
Thanks, Doug.
Cheers. Ting, ting.
Who I didn't introduce at the top of the show because I didn't realize you had a mic in front of your face.
Oh, I'm behind you.
Yeah.
But thanks as always. You're amazing. And if you're listening and you skip through the break, please do check out Channel 253. It's awesome. Stay connected to Tacoma through this fantastic network of podcasts about all kinds of different stuff, including beer.
Yes.
But everything else.
Mostly beer.
Mostly beer.
Tonight.
Mostly beer.
On this podcast, particularly.
But it's all member supported, and so your support makes all the difference. So go to channel253.com/membership. We all have new beer in front of us.
Yeah. What have we here?
It's the bourbon barrel-aged barley wine from the Frem. Some call it Freem.
Put the frame?
Yep.
Pafreem?
Cheers, everyone.
It's friendly.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Our
Happy
required
7th anniversary.
Thank you.
And
Doesn't Bale Breaker have an anniversary?
yeah, I was just gonna say.
The 10 year.
The 10 year.
10 year. That was a few months ago.
Yeah.
We just stretched it out.
Yeah.
Run.
We hung it, but it fell.
That's because that's actual real gold on there, so it's pretty heavy.
See? God, it's delicious.
Yeah.
Jesus. This tastes like galbi marinade in the best way.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yep.
Did you say mugabe marinade?
No, galbi. Like
I
Korean short rib marinade.
Oh, okay. All right.
Which it's so good.
Kevin, Matt's a huge foodie.
Nice.
I am. Which is why I eat so much of your fucking peppers, apparently.
We appreciate that.
I'm also drinking Dormancy,
Nice.
which is
Yes.
perfect.
Breakfast stout.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Good morning.
We randomly this year sold more dormancy in the summer than we did in the winter, which doesn't make any sense.
Weird.
I don't know. It had a resurgence, I guess. I don't know. It used to be draft only. Then we started canning it. Had a few placements, lost some placements, got some placements back. It was our best winter we had with it, and then it was like we usually brew it like once at the beginning of summer before it gets busy, and then we just have enough, and we ended up brewing it like 3 times this summer. I was like,
Holy cow.
I don't know.
What do you think? Yeah, what is it?
No idea.
I couldn't tell you either. It's my whole job to identify those trends, and
It was unseasonably cool. It only hit 100 like 7 times. So maybe that's
Kevin, what's the story behind Skyward?
it. Skyward. So the So we released Daybreak in March, and it was kind of, so April was our 10-year anniversary. And when we opened, we only had Top Cutter and Field 41. So an IPA and a pale ale. And we had never released another pale ale. And it's been since Leota Mae since we did another West Coast IPA. So we thought, to honor the 10 years, we're going to release a new year-round pale ale and a new West Coast IPA. Mm-hmm. And so Daybreak was the name we came up with for the pale ale, and then Skyward was kind of like the hops grow up, go skyward until they hit the top of the trellis and then come down. Mm-hmm. And then we're working on a third beer for that.
Nice.
That little series that'll probably be early 2025.
Oh,
man.
You're planning.
Planners.
I know. I was like, you guys really dug into that AVP thing. Yeah. We were just talking about Leota Mae and like how that is an awesome beer name.
Oh, and it's awesome beer.
And an awesome beer.
Oh, on draft.
When did you guys first make that beer?
That was, we released Bottom Cutter in 2016, so Leota Mae was 2017.
Okay.
I believe.
So I came over with Georgetown for hop selection that year, and I remember the towers of cans that you guys, it was a brand new beer then. Yeah. And I didn't think about it until Phaedra just brought it up. She was saying how much she loved that name. And I can like picture it now, which you and I probably met back then too. But I was just a little tyke in this industry. 2017, that's a whole different generation of beer.
Yeah.
Was that back when Johnny Utah was like that IPL?
We did. we actually pulled Fresh Johnny off the tank for the bus ride over, which is like a core beer memory for me. But I'll tell Medwards you said that.
I have a question about hop varieties and how long they take to get into brewers' hands, because it takes a long time, right? Like longer than probably people think it does.
Yeah, it takes a very long time. I mean, it's been accelerating in now with the growth of craft beer, like not only in the U.S. but worldwide. There's like this, this demand for like what's new. Mm-hmm. It was probably like once every 7 to 10 years or something. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's something like one out of every 250,000 crosses or something like that. It's like actually somewhere in the neighborhood of like that actually makes it. But like Hop Breeding Company, HBC, their first release was Citra, then Mosaic, then it was like Equinaut, Laurel, Talus, and then 682, the high alpha variety. So that's coming, more like every other year.
Yeah. There's a new HBC being marketed on cans every 9 months, it seems.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, and the interesting thing about hop breeding is like all these hop breeding companies were started back in the day not to make aroma varieties for us craft brewers, right? They were all started to make high yielding, high alpha hops, right? Washington was the world's alpha producer, and in the alpha game, you get paid on per pound alpha. So
you're not know that.
You're not going to want to.
Dang.
I mean, if you have a choice between two high alpha varieties and one's 10% alpha and 10 bales an acre, and you got another one that's 20% alpha and 20 bales an acre, you only got the acres that you have. Mm-hmm. And so all these all these breeding companies were started to breed high alpha varieties that yielded like crazy. And so it's just now been, I mean, that's what Simcoe was bred to be a high alpha variety with low cohumulin, and it turned out to have like not that high alpha and not, it's not like CTZ or 682 yields. And so, as the story goes, Vinny put it into Pliny the Elder, and now it's top 5 hop in Washington. But our farm, Loftus Ranches, was the first one to plant it commercially. We planted the first 10 acres of it. Yeah.
How do we all end up giving Vinny so much fucking power?
I know, right? Yeah. He changed Washington in January, though.
Yeah.
I sure fucking did.
Yeah, saved us.
I still still simp for Russian River stuff when I see it. Like STS is all day.
Yeah.
And you guys use a lot of Simcoe. Yeah.
We use a lot of Simcoe.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
The main ingredient in Trailblazer.
In fact.
Yeah. I mean, we actually do almost all of our bittering is also with Simcoe. It's a little bit on the expensive side, but the really low cohumulin and stuff leads to a very
Mild.
like smooth bitterness profile. I would
Super clean.
Yeah, I say that like you get high cohumulin is like a jalapeno, like a pepper heat. It can just like build and like stick with you. And like a low cohumulin is like wasabi or horseradish. Like it hits you, but then it goes away. And we want to make sure like it goes away because we're putting in all these hops and all these flavor and aroma additions to it, so that you can like taste the flavor and smell that. Like we don't want you feeling like you need to take the coaster off the table and scrape the lupulin off your tongue.
Yes. Yeah.
So
You want to have more than one pint of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then if we're doing bigger IPAs and stuff, then we'll use either. Well, I don't think there's any more Warrior around, but we still got some extract kicking around. But it's either Warrior or 682 extract. So we'll still first wort bitter with Simcoe, and then we'll kick up the bitterness with some extract.
Nice.
So maybe this is the time to talk about how cool Caitlin Brame is.
Yeah.
She was instrumental in helping open Bale Breaker in Seattle, right?
Yeah. So Caitlin and Smitty, Kev, my younger brother-in-law, they worked together at Two Beers. And randomly, I'd actually seen the Populux space that it was open, and I was like, oh, I don't know. Looks like it's going to be a lot of work. And then Caitlin reached out to us, and she had seen the same posting, and she's like, hey, I'm looking to do I don't have a cider tap room for Yonder, but with her experience with Two Beers and then being in both cider and beer, she didn't want to open a cider only tap room. And both of us are east of the Cascades. You know, they make their cider in Wenatchee. We're obviously in Yakima. And so she's like, you want to share a tap room, like, and help share the costs, stuff like that. Also, her and John are like not far from there. I mean, one of the biggest kind of like mental hurdles we'd like never really got over the years was like, I mean, if we opened something in Seattle, like, well, we still live in Yakima. Like, we're not going to be living in Seattle. And so we know how much time it takes and stuff with our tap room in Yakima. And so that was never something that we could really like wrap our heads around. And so, yeah, when Caitlin brought up the opportunity to share it and stuff, and then, yeah, I mean, she was boots on the ground and she was pushing everything forward because we still had everything going in Yakima. We came over as much as we could, but yeah, she was very instrumental in us getting the Bale Breaker Yonder spot in Ballard.
And you added a brew house too to it.
There always was a brew house.
Oh, was there?
Yeah. So that was the old Populux brewing space.
Right. Of course.
And so we purchased all the Bale Breaker purchased all the assets of Populux from Peter, and so we had it, but then we just wanted to get open, and we also didn't have a brewer, and it was like, whatever, that's fine, just get the tap room open and we'll figure it out. And then randomly, one of our longest tenured brewers, his wife was attending medical school in Yakima, and she graduated and matched her residency in Everett, so he needed to move over to the west side. So Bobby Buckman, Oregon State University fermentation science grad, he went there once. I don't know what his first degree was, but he didn't like it, so he went back again and got his fermentation science degree. So, but he's a hell of a brewer. Don't tell him I said that.
I told him.
Yeah. And yeah, you brewed with him.
That's where Trail Breaker was brewed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lovely gentleman.
Ron's texting him right now.
Yeah, I remember he was like, he moved over there, and then he was like, oh, it was like all these things that are coming up, and I was like, oh, reach out to this person for that, reach out to that person for that. And, it was like, how'd you figure that out? It's like, well, we had to figure it out. Like, you just had to figure it out. There was no, I didn't get it. Like, there wasn't, hey, can you help me out? It's like, no, it was us. Like, we just figured it out. And then he was like, I can't remember what his name was. Grain Wayne. Grain Wayne? I don't know. The guy the guy that picked up the spent grain, it was like right when we started brewing, he stopped. Grain Wayne. He stopped picking it up. I
have a farmer bill.
Yeah. He stopped picking it up and he's like,
Catchy.
what do I need to do? And I'm like, well, obviously you need to find someone else to pick up the grain.
Seriously.
He's like, you going to help? I was like, no.
Yeah.
You got 2 degrees from Oregon State. You can figure it out.
Use the internet, man.
You can't find farmers like that on the internet.
I was going to say, that's super fair.
It is.
It's reference only.
It's inside track, yeah.
Yeah, that's not what Farmers Only's for. Yeah. I told him if he couldn't find anyone, just take it over to Stoop, and they probably wouldn't figure out that we threw a couple of trash cans over there.
Yeah.
Brad's like, what the fuck?
Or take it to Rubens. They wouldn't figure out either.
Nah, Rubens.
So how long have you guys been brewing at that spot?
All year. Yeah, I think we did our first brew like in January, early January.
And what size are we talking
It's a
there?
7-barrel, 2-vessel Marks.
And you've got a 30 at the Yakima one?
We have a 30 barrel, 3-vessel with a hopback in Yakima. The hopbacks, it's all a little oversized in Yakima. Our kettle's 62 barrels, our whirlpool's 40 barrels. Our hopback is 20 barrels. So we can fit about 500-600 pounds of wet hops in it. But back in the day when we first opened, we would actually do both Top Cutter and Field 41 had a whole cone, like dried whole cone, like hopback edition, and we would recirculate all those, which was really cool. And we liked what it added to the beer, but it adds like 30, 40 minutes to a brew. So as the volume started growing and the hours per day and the days per week of how much we were brewing started growing, it was like, yeah, we changed those to Whirlpool Edition. So now we'll do we use nearly an entire bale of hops, actually in the Friendsgiving. I don't know if we have it here, but our Thanksgiving Friends release, we call Friendsgiving. We do it with all the local breweries in Yakima this year. But we used probably 80% of a bale of hops. So we probably used like 160, 170 pounds of whole cone.
Oof.
Wow.
Yeah. Kevin had the idea, like, I think it was a bale of 630 or something. Actually, I don't remember what it was, but we were like, hey, can you like not deliver one bale of hops to Yakima Chief, and we can come pick it up and put it in our cooler? And my older brother, my Pat, was like, sure, whatever.
I'm glad you brought up Friends, because I was hoping to get into that before we ran out of time. So New School Beer published this week probably one of my favorite pieces of like beer media that I've read all year. One of the contributors wrote a fantastic bit about basically the survivability of beer culture and how collaboration is going to end up being the key, or at least part of the key to a lot of that. Beer needs to reach new audiences and new drinkers, and collaborating with not only other breweries but also food establishments, like popular artists, popular media, and then also like small local nonprofit and humanitarian causes. And Bale Breaker is sort of a seasoned veteran in this field. And you were telling us a little bit about it, but I would love to hear about the Friends collab that you guys do, which has just become insane. Yeah. And then also a bit about your sort of local efforts as well, if you're down to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Which one do you want me to start with?
I would love to talk about Friends, and then we can close on your do-gooder work.
Okay, so the name of the beer Friends came, that was like 2016, 2017. It was the first collab we did with Georgetown, and we called it Friends. And we sold that actually, like, it was right before Fresh Hops came out, so it wasn't a Fresh Hop.
Yep.
And then as we were coming out of COVID, we were like, oh, that Friends is a great name.
Yeah.
Like, now that we've hunkered hunkered down for a year, it's like, all right, 2021, let's see if we can get some of our friends to brew beer with us. And we kind of like, we say it's like, we brewed with our friends, you drink with your friends.
Aww,
so
fucking sweet.
Someone a lot smarter than me figured that out. But that was the thing. It was like we were coming out of like, the 2020 kind of what the hell's going on thing to like, hey, like let's interact with people again. And so we kind of restarted the series and started canning it, I believe, 2021. And then last year we did a full series release, and then going into 2023, which was going to be our 10-year anniversary, or is our 10-year anniversary, we decided that we were going to get like our kind of like biggest mentors and people that we really respected in the industry, or we were going to ask them to brew with us. I mean, they all could have said no, but so. In Washington, like we've always looked up to Georgetown and Manny and Roger, and we think those guys do an absolutely phenomenal job and great people, and they have a great company, and everyone's great. And then Sierra Nevada helped us out so much, and they've been, getting hops off the farm and stuff for so long. It was just like, and those were the guys that like. All the things that Ken and those guys have done there with like how well they treat their people and how great their beer is, and like everything is like that's like a standard we want to try to get to it at someday. And just everything in corporate stewardship and everything with that company is amazing. And then Russian River, Vinny and Natalie, we were, my wife and I, turned 21 in the early 2000s, and then it was like Russian River was a hype brewer before there was a hype brewery, right? And they just happened to get hops off our farm, and we've like developed a great friendship with those guys, and so it's like really become something kind of bigger. It actually is like there's a lot of times we think of ideas and they don't kind of like play out as well as we thought they would, but the friends thing has been great.
Yeah.
And then we do the ones with the Yakima breweries. I mean, when we opened, there was one other brewery who was only doing a few hundred barrels of beer. It's since closed. Like now there's, in the greater Yakima Valley area, there's probably 10, 11 now.
Some doing insane work too.
Yeah. Yeah. We got great beers, you know? And so we feel like we helped spur that on. And so it's just kind of like, one of the things we always wanted to do, and we started the brewery in Yakima, was I think Yakima kind of gets kind of a bad rap. Like I don't think it has. I think it's a much better area and community than probably some of the stuff you see
or hear from sort of outside on look. Yeah, sure.
And especially moving in there, like I grew up in Coeur d'Alene, and then I lived in Seattle, and then moved back to Coeur d'Alene, and moved to Yakima, and it's like I think it's a great. I mean, I could go for like a big lake, like right there, but whatever. We got a river, and some irrigation ditches. But
the Canyon School,
It's a great place, and the community's great, and like every city. I mean, there's over 100,000 people who live in Yakima. Like every city of any size has some bad shit going on too. Like
amazing tamales too.
Yeah, I mean, amazing food, amazing culture. And then I guess that kind of rolls nicely into our Sesiones del Migrantes series that we do. So it's a collaboration with two Mexican craft breweries, Cerveceria Loba and Cerveceria Colima. Loba in Guadalajara and Colima in Colima. It was like 2016, 2017. There was an idea hatched, Victoria with Yakima Chief Hops, who runs Latin American sales, also a University of Washington alumni.
Me too.
Just saying.
just wolves.
She was talking with those guys, and they wanted to do something, and one of the breweries or both of the breweries had been at Hop and Brew School, and they toured Bale Breaker, and they were like, can we do something to help kind of highlight and bring awareness and maybe raise some money for the migrant worker community up and down the West Coast. We actually do it with 2 California craft breweries, to South Norte out of San Diego and Roman Fermentation Project. And so what we do is we brew a beer with those guys, and then the proceeds of that then benefit local nonprofits, or our beer benefit local nonprofits. They're donating to whatever they want to, whatever the other breweries are donating to, but goes to 2 local nonprofits that help the migrant farm worker community. And then we also have now brought in big parties and stuff at the tap room, which is probably like less important, but it's also like highlighting, like you hear it a lot about the farm worker community. It's like, oh, like they're so important because like we wouldn't have hops and we wouldn't have apples and cherries and asparagus and peppers and yada, yada. But it's like they're very important to like the culture of the community in the Yakima Valley, and like that needs to be highlighted more. And I think it's also I think the craft brewing industry can be a very like not diverse community. Coming from a 40-year-old white guy.
No, we feel it.
Actually, I'm Hawaiian, but we won't get into that. We don't have enough time to get into that story. But it's also like letting that community know, like you can come and drink craft beer. Like this is approachable to you. Like you don't need to feel intimidated to
the
come
gate's
here.
open, man.
And I am very proud of like what we've done over 10 years. And I think it when you go to our tap room in Moxie and you sit down there, what it was in, April 13th, 2013 to what it is November 1st, 2023, it's a much more diverse like set of customers than it used to be. And,
that's fucking beautiful.
And people will come up and say like, I didn't think I could go to like a craft brewery. Like I didn't.
Yeah. Without feeling like, without feeling lonely.
Yeah.
Yep. That's beautiful. And so I gushed to Ezra kind of directly about this, but that's exactly what the article was about. And it was like, obviously you guys are doing fantastic work with this, and you're supporting these local nonprofits that are like doing all this work to incorporate, Hispanic culture into Yakima, especially through like migrant workers. But you're also just like opening the gates to people who feel like they didn't have a place in this industry and community. And that's exactly the point.
Yeah.
So we bring in like bands that do contemporary like Mexican music. Like it's not a mariachi band. It's like it's music that they would listen to on the radio when they're back in Mexico and when they're not in Yakima.
Right.
And like people are like, no one plays this music. Like, can you guys do it like every Saturday? Like, we could, but we'd be broke.
So through this effort, you guys have yourselves gained an actual understanding of a separate culture.
Yeah.
Go fucking figure. Yeah. Well, I hope that everybody in craft beer finds their way to this conclusion at some point.
Yeah, not many people, as we were kind of talking about. Before the podcast started, it's like they're like a lot of people don't understand like how a pint of beer gets like to a tap room, right? It's like we have my wife and I live across the street from the farm. Like our brewery's on the farm. Like we are interacting with those people every day. I think people think farming is like, you got 5,000 acres of corn or wheat or something, and it's 6 people and combines, and that's what it is. Like that's not ag in the Yakima Valley. Like
no, not at all.
It's human powered. It's like every hop plant in the Yakima Valley, 40,000 whatever acres it is, and like however many millions of plants that is, has to be touched by a human hand minimum twice. Like you can't mechanize that. That's like back-breaking work that like these people come up. At our peak, we're at 380 or so H2A temporary visa workers, about 120 domestic workers. And it's like same thing, like apples get picked by hand, cherries get picked by hand, asparagus gets picked by hand. Like we don't have these like big mechanized like crops in the Yakima Valley, and it's like it's on the backs of the farm workers that agriculture economy in the in Central Washington is built.
That's cool.
Take note, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
All right, Grit and Grainers. Email us at cheers@gritandgrainpodcast.com with your comments and opinions. And did the Bale Breaker owners use 23andMe to discover they had hops in their DNA? We read and drink everything we receive, and we try to respond as quickly as we can. Not online, then on air. You can subscribe to Grit and Grain on Amazon, Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher. And please leave us a review. Also, check us out on Channel 253.
Thank you, brother.
And gritandgrainpodcast.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for episode notes, beer news, and Bale Breaker family updates, such as the time Cousin Oliver stayed with the family and he tripped over hoses and told family secrets and soaked the newspaper while trying to extinguish the burning beehive. And damn it, don't kids these days know the pleasure of reading a real newspaper in bed on Sunday morning with the spouse sipping Folgers and lounging in your PJs and skimming the world's hop contracts, swapping the funnies back and forth and not really laughing at all because funnies haven't been actually funny since about 1987. Note to the under 30 set. I know what you're thinking. What the hell are funnies? Hush now. Go make me a dry Manhattan. If this podcast is not what you expected, please alter your expectations. Shots of premium iced vodka can make you smarter. No such thing as a bad time to visit Tacoma. No such thing as too much barley wine. Tune in next Friday for more sweet chatter. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us at Grit and Grain Podcast wherever you get your social media and catch new episodes every Friday. Cheers.
Get up.
Channel 253 is a member-supported podcast network. I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I'm asking you to become a member and show your support. Go to channel253.com/membership to join. Thank you. Grit and Grain is part of the Channel 253 podcast network. Check out our other shows: Nerd Farmer, Interchangeable White Ladies, Move to Tacoma, Crossing Division, Citizen Tacoma, What Say You, We Are Tacoma, Flounders B Team, and Taco Man.
This is Channel 253.